Hello friends, sorry for the noise in the background, but today we're going to learn how to make a ball. So usually with every project I like using an H hook because it's the hook I actually really like. But it's up to you. Again, I'm going to be using yarn from like Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Again, you can get yarn from basically anywhere. You can get it from like the Goodwill, the dollar store, it truly doesn't matter. So what we're going to start with is our slip stitch like usual, so I'm going to do it my normal way. So we're going to do this. Then over, slip the hook through, over, and pull through. There's our slip knot. Alrighty, so today with the ball, we're going to be learning how to increase and decrease. Now I showed you how to do a magic circle in the last video, but we're going to go over it again just in case someone didn't catch it all the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4. So that means yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 4. Alrighty, so now that we have our 4, we're going to go to the very first chain that we made, so it's this one right here, and we're going to push through. Okay, now we have it through our first loop and then our now second loop, and we're going to yarn over, pull through the first one. As you can tell, now we have the 2 loops left, and then we're not going to yarn over, but we're just going to pull through the bottom one. Now we're left with one in a tiny itty bitty circle. Now at this tiny circle, you're going to see a hole in the middle. There's a bunch of holes, but the one in the middle is the one that we're looking for. And so what we're going to do is we're going to push the hook through the middle, okay, and we're going to kind of tighten it so this string can be wrapped around as well. So we're going to yarn over, pull through the center, and we're going to single crochet. So that means we're going to yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to do this 6 times, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we wrap this as well. So we're going to push through the hole, and as you see, it kind of goes around it by itself, and so we're going to kind of pull that down to where it's still on the hook, but it's kind of more so out of the way. So we're going to yarn over, and as you see, it kind of traps your tail, and then you're going to pull through, and it should just pull through one, it shouldn't pull through both of them. Then you're going to yarn over again and pull through, and you're going to continue doing this for a total of 6. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And how you can count, like be like, oh no, I didn't count mine, or this and that. So this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to count the little V's. So we need to just do one more. Okay, now that we have this, we're going to pull the tail that we have left. You're just going to pull it slowly and make sure it's tight, and then you can no longer see the middle that we were sewing through or crocheting through. So now we can count the V's: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into this very first chain, this one right here, and we are going to push it through. Now we're going to learn how to increase. So increasing is still single crochet, but we're going to do 2 in 1 stitch. So that means we're going to yarn over, pull through, and we have our 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to push it through that same hole that we just did. So how you can tell if you're going through the same hole is where the stitch is. You can tell from the back and the front. So I'll show you from the back as well. You can kind of see where it goes through right here. And so you're going to push through that same stitch. It might be a little difficult at first, but you can get the hang of it. You're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And that is an increase. So again, we're going to push through a stitch, the next stitch. And again, we're only doing it twice. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And as you can see, so this one has a bigger hole that you can see. So when you kind of tug on it, it tugs on that one stitch. So you're going to push through that same hole one more time. You're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And we're going to keep doing that. So the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through the second one. So you can't really tell if you're increasing yet. So we started with 6. So we're going to count the V's again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So that is how you know you're increasing, is because your stitches are increasing. And so we're going to keep doing that until we get to 12. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, push through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that will be, so how you can know if you're counting it right is, so we just counted 9, so that will be 10 when we do the 2. It will stay at 9 if you just single crochet the rest of the way through, because we are no longer adding stitches into it. So yarn over, pull through 2, and then push through, yarn over, and that should indeed be 12. So now we're going to count again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now that we have our 12, as you can tell, it looks a lot bigger than the first time. So the reason I'm teaching y'all how to make a ball is because this is going to be our first major project. Because, you can make it into a stress ball. You can add little eyes to it if you want. It's mostly the beginnings of amigurumi, which are little characters that you can make, which they ended up really cute, and you can even sell them if you want. So now that you have your 12, we're going to increase again, but it's going to be a little bit different. So this time we're going to increase to 18, but we're going to do 1 single crochet. So we're going to go to the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so we are still at 12. We have not increased yet. We're going to go to the next stitch and we're going to increase. So how you can count this is, so we did 1, this stitch will be 2, and then we push through again, through the same stitch. Now we have 3. So we increased in the second stitch. So how we're going to count this is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to count by 3s. So ready? This will be number 4, right? Then we're going to go through the next stitch. This will be 5. And we're going to push through this stitch again. And this will be 6. All right? So we're going to do it again. There's 7, right? 8. Then we're going to push through that same stitch again. 9. Alrighty, so now you should try it by yourself. And again, feel free to rewind and look back at what I just did. And please, in the comments, don't feel bad if you have to ask questions. It's okay. And if you lose track of your count, and you're like, oh no, I can't remember if I just did 1 in one stitch or if I did 2 in the last stitch. So what you're going to do is, when we look at this row that we're working on, what you can tell is, as you see, the stitch that I just did an increase at has a bigger hole than the one right next to it. You see that? It's kind of like big and then small and then big again, right? You kind of see that? So big, small, and then big again. So that's how you can tell. Because it takes more when you increase. So if you lose count, you can go count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So since we're at 17, we have to do another single crochet, right? And then 1 more increase. Right? Now that we've done that, we have 18. So now we're just going to single crochet. That means we are no longer going to be increasing, but we're going to just straight single crochet. So that means straight yarn over, pull through, push through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, because this will start forming the shape of the ball we want. Yarn over, pull through, push, yarn over, pull through. So while we're doing this, what you can also do is, so a lot of people like using stitch markers. I keep mine in this little pin case. So my stitch markers, so since I'm a female, I used to do my hair a lot before I cut it short. And what I used to use was bobby pins. Pretty simple. You just use bobby pins for our stitch markers. So all you have to do, so I'm going to pull this out so I don't lose my mark. So I did 4 single crochet, okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count back 4 and put it in the one behind that one, okay? And you just slip it through the V's. Alrighty? So after we slip it through the V, we're going to pull it tight again back onto our hook. And now we don't have to count anymore. We don't have to worry about counting, and you don't need a special tool. You can use safety pins, bobby pins. You can even use yarn if you wanted. So we're going to keep single crocheting until we get back to our stitch marker or our bobby pin or whatever you like to use. And again, you can watch TV while you're doing this, and that is like perfect. But you have to make sure that if you're going to be watching TV, you can either look down and up and down and up, or you can just look down and listen to it. That's what I like doing the most when I'm crocheting. And I do have a small business that y'all could check out, and I'll make sure to post about it on my TikTok, which is where my YouTube is also linked. But so while doing this, while just straight single crocheting, and you can keep increasing if you want, you just do 1 more single crochet and then an increase. So like say if we were still increasing, I would do 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Just so I can keep them balanced out. So we go from not double crochet, sorry. We go from increasing to increasing in every second stitch to increasing in every third. Then 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, as high as you want to go. So now, as you can see, it's kind of started to curve in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push this like this. As you can see, it turns into like a little it kind of looks like a little hat. Tiny little hat that you can put on your dolls, or like a little cap for a mushroom you could use this for, and you could just call it square and just pull the yarn through and be done. But what we're going to do is we're going to, again, put our stitch marker through the stitch that we just did, so the one that is closest to the hook, this one right here, okay, and then we're gonna straight single crochet again, so we can get more depth into it. So one of the things that you're going to need if you want to start doing amigurumi is you're going to want to get a thing of stuffing. For my first few, I used plastic bags, and it worked very well. I just needed to find a better way to make sure that it would stay in and not get out. And again, it does not have to be perfect at all. There's nothing you should worry about because, again, nothing is perfect, and that is okay. So we're going to keep single crocheting until we get back to our stitch marker. And again, anything could be a stitch marker. You can use anything you put your creative mind to. And you can get eyes if you want to give it little eyes, and a smile if you want. Or this can just be your small little crocheted stress ball, because we used stuffing, or you can put like plastic in it, anything that makes like a crinkly noise. Like my first one that I made, I used newspaper, so it was very crunchy, and so it helped a lot for me. But again, it's all up to you on what you use. Okay, and this is going to be rather small. You could make it bigger if you want. So now it looks more and more like a ball. So now we're going to learn about decrease. Decrease can be a little difficult, so we only went up to 12, right? We did only, no, we went up to 18. So since we only went up to 18, we have to decrease to 12, and then we're going to decrease to 6. So what decreasing is putting 2 of the stitches together. So what we're going to do is, so we have to go back to 12. So what we did was we did 1, 2, 3, okay? So we're going to do it by 2s. So we're going to single crochet 1, okay? So what we're going to do is, if you can see, we're not going to slip it through the entire stitch. So this is slipping it through the entire stitch. We're going to do what is called going through the front loops. So the front loops is the one loop that is closest to you, okay? And you're going to slip it through that one. As you can see, you only have 1 loop instead of 2, right? So we're going to do that, and then we're going to pull it kind of down. We're not going to pull through, but we're just going to kind of pull it down and go through the front loop in the next one. So now we have a total of 3 loops on our hook. So we're going to yarn over, pull through that first one, and we still have the 3, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through all 3. And that is a decrease. Again, we're going to single crochet, then we're going to put it through the first front loop, then the second front loop. And if you kind of mess up, it's okay, you can still take out your hook and through the second front loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through that first one, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay? Now you can try to do it by yourself and repeat it as much as you need. So this will be 4 or 5 and 6, 7, 8, and as you can see, we're doing it through every, we're counting by 2s. So think, if I did 1 and then I did 2, 2 would be where we decreased. And if you're like, oh no, I lost my count, I don't know if I just increased or if I just decreased, or where I just decreased. So they look different from each other. So this right here is a decrease, and the one right next to it is just a straight stitch. You can tell it's starting to slowly close because our hole is getting smaller. So what you can also do is you can count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13. So that means we need to do it one more time. We need to single crochet, and then we need to decrease. So now we have a total of 12 stitches. We're back to our 12. As you can see, it's getting smaller. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our stuffing, which is over here for me. So let me grab this real quick. And for me personally, I use polyfill. I got this big bag at Walmart. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna grab some, and you can tear it off into smaller bits so it'll fit better, or it's up to you. But we're going to pull this yarn so we don't lose our spot, and we're just going to start stuffing. And you can stuff as much or as little as you want, or you can use plastic bags, or whatever you want to use. So as you can see, it's starting to take its form as a ball. So now what we're going to do is we are going to straight decrease to 6. So that means we're going to front loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And so my thing is, if you accidentally mess up, so like say I put it through both of the front loops, and see, everyone makes mistakes. They sometimes come undone and you have to do it a couple of times, and that's okay. And if I, let's say, yarn over and pull through, like if, oh no, I didn't pull it through all the way, and then I can just pull it through one more time and voila, I have it again. Or if you are like, you do it and instead of just pulling through one, you pull through two, which does happen sometimes. It will not mess up your stitch of a decrease. You can just yarn over and pull through the two, and there's nothing you need to worry about. See, everything's okay, it's still decreasing. And so you're gonna keep doing this until you get 6. And if you like lose your count, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I still have 8. So I'm gonna keep decreasing. And all of this still counts as just 1. It doesn't count as 2. So I should now be at 7. And now I should be at 6. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, it's harder to count the stitches once it gets smaller. But I personally feel like I didn't stuff mine enough. So usually if you get like a bag of polyfill, which looks like this, what you can do and what usually comes with it, and they do have smaller bags, I just needed more, is they come with this. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it's in like a little, it kind of looks like a chopstick, like thing that's covered usually. And they kind of do look like chopsticks, but it only comes with one. And so this comes in real handy when you're trying to stuff things. So I like to roll mine either in a ball or in a straight thing like this. And since it's only 6 and I can't really push my finger through to stuff it, I'll put it through like this and use it to stuff it through. And that's all you have to do. And they're really handy. You can also use the back of your crochet hooks, or you know, if you have smaller fingers than I do, you can use that. But I feel like this comes in like really handy when doing this. Alrighty. So now that we have our little ball and it's still kind of open, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this and we're gonna cut the yarn. Cut it wherever, however long, however short you want to. But we're gonna cut the yarn. And as you can see, we now have the tail and we have our loop. So you can either do it like this to knot it, or if you pull it straight out, it'll knot it as well. But I like to be a little more secure, so I like to pull the tail that we had just cut through and pull it shut. So now we have a total of 6 stitches. So what we're gonna do is what they like to call a darning needle or a yarn needle. I like to use these. These came from Hobby Lobby and Joann's and Michael's, and you can get them at really, I think, any craft store. But they look like this. They have a big hole at the end, so it's easier to shove the yarn through, and it's not pointy at all, so it's really hard to stab yourself with it when you're not thinking about that you're sewing or not. But so what you're gonna do is you're going to pinch it into a tiny little loop, and you're gonna wiggle it back and forth until you see this part. You're gonna grab it and pull through. Now you are ready to start sewing. So how we're gonna sew this is we're gonna look at our stitches, and we have a total of 6. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at our first loop that is next to this, we're gonna go through the front loop. So that'll be 1. And this is called the jawstring stitch because it jawstrings it closed. So think of like a jawstring bag. When you pull it, it will close, and then when you like undo it with your fingers, it comes undone. So we're gonna push through this way and then push through this way with the second one. We're gonna push through this way, so this will be 3. Then we're going to push out. This is 4. We're gonna push through. This is 5. Push through. This is 6. So usually how you can tell is the 6th one is usually bigger than usually the rest. So then as you can see, we have stitched through it all, and you're just gonna pull. Push it down, pull to make sure it's tight. And what I like to do is, because I like it to be a little bit flatter, is I will find whichever end I ended on, and I will sew through. And once I have sewed through, I'll pull it tight, and now you can see it looks a lot flatter than it did, and I'll show you what it looked like before. And yes, you can indeed pull it out, meaning you have to find it first, which is always my first issue. Is it's so hard to find because they all look the same. But once you find it, you just pull it through. As you can see like a little bump now, and that sometimes bothers me, but it usually doesn't bother other people. But if it does, that's all you have to do. And again, be like, oh no, it fell through, all you have to do is pinch it, make it small, push it through, wiggle it, and pull it through. So again, as you can see, it goes like this, and it can easily go like this to make it flat, right? So we're going to push through. And you can do this as many times as you want. You can do it like 1,000 times if you want. I mean, it's up to you, truly. So once you do it, and you like how flat it is, you're going to go into any of these stitches, any ones that you want. You're going to push through, and you're going to, through this loop, push through, and pull. And it makes a little knot just to make sure you're a little more secure. Then, wherever you want, you're going to push through, and I like to put it out our magic circle. So as you can see, just straight pushes through, and I like to pull it tight. And once it's pulled tight, you can let this go. I like to twist mine to make it a little bit tighter so it can just go straight in. Hopefully you can see that. And you are going to cut. As you see, there's still like a tiny little tuft of what we had just cut, and all you have to do is use the back of your needle and push it through. And now that we are done, we have officially created our tiny little stress ball. You can squish it, flatten it, make a little pancake, and form it back. Well, there you go. Congratulations, you have made your first ever ball. So proud of you. Good job, and I hope to see you in the next video. Remember, stay creative.